I am so elated that today is our All in Decatur podcast. How are you, Ricky?
I'm good, Dr. Whitaker. Thanks for having me here. I'm excited to kick this off with you.
Yes, this is really an exciting time in the city schools of Decatur for multiple reasons. You would probably think, oh, that's because you're the new superintendent. I'm not the only new person in this education space. So, Ricky, tell me a little bit about you and what it is that you do.
Cool. I have not seen an exciting buzz like this in Decatur in any of my years here. So I'm excited that we're both new. I'm the new executive director of the Decatur Education Foundation. Thrilled to be able to come back to Decatur and have a dream job. I moved to Decatur in 97. Had my first kiddo in 2003, and my kiddos have all gone through City Schools of Decatur and have all graduated now. So I'm glad to have been a parent and now come back and be able to contribute as the ED of DEF. Oh. And to join you in that.
Oh, DEF. Tell me a little more. What exactly is DEF?
So Decatur Education Foundation started in the year 2000 to support the school system and to support youth in Decatur. We have a ton of programs. I'm sure we'll talk about a bunch of them this year. But I'm really excited about, we just launched our teacher innovation grants and student innovation grants for the first time ever. We've got Lighten the Load to help do emergency assistance and food insecurity to help our students so that they can get on with their learning and get to school. And it fills in the gaps on anything that they don't have. We do scholarships. We have a college counseling program. So a lot of things going on with Decatur Education Foundation. And we love that you guys are such a great partner for us. And as you always say, City Schools of Decatur is a gym. And it is nice to be working on that gym and making it shine with you.
Oh, thank you so much, Ricky. I am just honored to be the superintendent. So I, too, am fairly new to the City Schools of Decatur, starting July 1st as the new superintendent. And I do consider the City Schools of Decatur to be a gem. And one of the hidden gems has been this partnership with the City Schools of Decatur and Decatur Education Foundation. I have had a lot of opportunities over the past 25 years all over Metro Atlanta. So yes, I've been in Fulton and I've been in Atlanta Public Schools, and all of those really have led me to this very unique opportunity for CSD and DEF to really relaunch and rekindle the partnership that really was there once before.
Yeah, and I think people are really excited about that. When I've talked to donors and key stakeholders, talked to people from the city of Decatur, from Decatur Housing Authority, there is like a palpable buzz that people are excited about the positive energy that we're bringing into Decatur and all the really cool stuff that we're able to do. So that keeps me going. That's really fun. And I think a lot of that has been brought through for you. And we've talked about this before, but like wanting to lay that basis of positivity so that people are excited about what their students are doing in the school, because we know that there's challenges that are going to come up, but we have that basis, that relationship to fall back on when things get tough.
Yes, that basis is so key. I know you have been at every listening session that I've held. So in the month of SCORE, yes, 100% SCORE. In the month of August, I held listening sessions, whether they were in the evening or during the day, whether they were face-to-face, if they were virtual, or even at Decatur Housing Authority. It was powerful to have you in the room for each one of those, because as I am learning, as I am listening to the needs of the City of Schools of Decatur, you are doing the exact same thing. Our innovation will really come about as we dream big for kids.
Yeah, absolutely. And I loved being there for all of those. And that was one of my big goals for coming in as the new executive director, was to be present in the things that we're doing in the community.
Yes.
So that when those conversations are being had, I want to be part of that. And you notice I didn't speak very often.
You did.
But I enjoyed doing the listening the same as you and seeing the different things that people were talking about and how each one had a little bit different flavor. But I loved to find the through lines that all of them have. And like one of the ones that I noticed was that your first question was always, what is City Schools of Decatur doing well?
Yes.
Like what do you love about it? And almost always the first thing people talked about was the staff and the teachers, the people that work in City Schools of Decatur. everybody felt was top notch. And so that was a really fun thing to see and to know that we've got the people in place that are going to make it shine. So I loved hearing that. And that seemed to be one of the things that I took away was like, all right, this is a really positive, this is a good thing.
And I would agree totally. When I think about that through line for each and every one of our listening sessions, the teachers care. Mm-hmm. And when I think about the teacher innovation grants, it's a prime example of how the city schools of Decatur, our teachers care. So tell me a little bit about the grants. Tell me a little bit of maybe your favorite, or I know it's hard to say favorite. Oh my goodness, because I was there and I heard some really great and awesome things. So yes, tell me.
Yeah, so we traditionally do teacher innovation grants, and I reviewed all the ones that have been done in the past, and I found that a lot of them were based on needing something, needing supplies, or needing a field trip opportunity. And I really wanted to change the language a little bit. On the way that we did them this year was to really look at abundance. So look at like the abundance of amazing ideas that we have, the great innovative concepts that we want to put into place, the really cool projects that teachers have wanted to do but needed some encouragement or some resources to make it happen.
Right.
So we changed the language of the way we announced it. We changed a little bit of the application. And oh my gosh, the teachers and staff in Decatur really came through. Like we had so many fantastic applications. So we were able to fund 30 full teacher innovation grant projects to launch. And so we finished the selection right before fall break.
Right.
And we just did the reception last Tuesday to announce all the winners. So super fun to see all of those. And they really varied from school site to school site. We had a ton. Every school is covered.
Yes.
It was all different from equity and inclusion to behavioral health to neurodiversity to science of reading. We had a ton of great projects. So some of the ones that were really fun.
Yes, that's what I want to hear.
Amanda Lockwood at Oakhurst did an ornithology club. That was the gold standard of our applications. Like every one we compared to hers, which she's getting a bird feeder that has a webcam to it so the kids can identify what birds are in the area, do a survey. They're going to have bird books that she's making bird bags for them to take home. It's going to spread to all the different neighborhoods. Super fun to see that as a science base, but then launch into other areas as well for the students. And for us, a lot of the language that I used about the teacher innovation grants was prototype.
Yes.
Is that this is a prototype. And I think two things come from that. One, if it's a successful prototype, we scale it to other schools. So we can take that idea that works at Oakhurst and it can go to Claremont, it can go to Fave, it can go to Beacon Hill. That's one cool thing about prototypes. The second one is that I've always felt like when I call something a prototype, it also gives me a chance to fail. So if I don't succeed, it's okay. I'm going to learn and come up with another prototype that's even better. So like Mr. Custer at Decatur High School has a rocket launch that he's doing.
Oh, I'm waiting for that one.
And he has promised us 1,000 feet.
Okay.
So great. If it gets 1,000 feet, successful prototype. If it doesn't, then let's retool it and figure out why. So again, whether it gets to 1,000 feet or not, it's still going to be successful for us.
Yes, failing forward is so key. It's a great concept that obviously adults embrace, but it's great to know that it's being modeled for our students. And that's even more powerful. I did have the opportunity to talk to Mr. Custer at the reception when he was literally sitting next to me and talked about, I'm looking forward to shooting off this rocket. And I said, where are you going to do? We did chat a little bit afterwards. And he said, yes, we will be at PDK, more than likely. And I said, that definitely brings the heart rate down.
Yes.
So that we would. But when I think about those teacher innovation grants, we're talking from College Heights, early childhood, the foundation of language and literacy and the growing of our brain, all the way to our seniors who really are looking for a new computer that will be able to make sure that our students are graduating and they're ready to be globally competitive.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love Mr. Moore's laptops for the architecture program exploding at the high school.
Exactly.
They're going to competitions. They need software that can run on those laptops. And to that, again, laptops for the architecture program is a small thing, but the bigger thing is that those kids may find career paths that they didn't think about. They may find scholarships that they wouldn't have gotten. Like they may find lifelong friends at that competition that would not have been possible without this one thing. So to think that like a laptop would stand in the way of all that for them, man, I love being able to take away that barrier and give them that and send them off to be able to do those great things. So that's another one that I was like, that's awesome. I totally want to do that one.
That is taking away that barrier. I really think that's what DEF does. There are so many barriers to education, and through the funding of our donors, we're able to remove those barriers for our students. I was thinking about one of the innovation grants, and the pitch was made that typically when you think about a math competition, you're always thinking about the students who are your top mathletes. And with a background in gifted education, I definitely understand that mathlete needs that opportunity to compete. But that competition environment is something that really needs to be duplicated regardless of your readiness. And so talk to me a little bit about, there was another grant that did something similar, but for a different group of students.
Yeah, so Mr. Stroy at Beacon Hill had pitched the idea of the math competition for the students who were in the lower percentiles on scoring, but were making great gains.
Yes.
So again, to celebrate the work that they had done. And I just thought, again, going to the reception on Tuesday, I had read all of these applications and thought about all these and seen all this in writing. But I was so thrilled to be able to meet like Mr. Stroy, like that's a hero around the offices at Decatur Education Foundation, or Miss Garcia at the high school, whose class did a ton of student innovation grants. I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to meet her. So it's fun to see that, where I think, again, looking at the teacher innovation grants and student innovation grants, it's really to celebrate the great ideas of our staff and teachers and the people that are working with our kids every day, and to say, I see you, I like your idea, I value this, and I want to support this. And I think that's what this whole process has been such a celebration of. And again, I'm a huge advocate for student voice.
I was about to say, now we did mention in that little bit right there, I heard student innovation grants. Yeah. So obviously our teachers, we heard through all of the listening sessions, are definitely one of the things that we are doing well in the city schools of Decatur. But talk to me about student innovation.
So that was one of my favorite things about coming into the position. Was from my teaching career, I had worked at the Mount Vernon School with a program called iProject, which was all focused on student voice and student projects. So helping them build project management skills to launch their own passion projects into the world. So I immediately thought, like, how can we do this with Decatur Education Foundation? And so student innovation grants was just an immediate thing that we could totally do. And I think there was some question about, what are we going to get? Like, we've never done this before. But we got 25 amazing applications, not a bad application in the bunch.
Wow.
We combined a few that were similar, and so we were able to pull those together, but we funded 20 full student innovation grants. So with the 30 teacher innovation grants, it's a total of $70,000 that we're investing in the innovation grants. But the students were phenomenal. Not only did they come up with good ideas and very empathetic, creative ideas, they also wrote fantastic applications. So as a former teacher, I was like, yes, check that. But they were great, and I really appreciate the hard work that they put in. I think my favorite came even before we had decided and launched total student innovation grants. Anique Wade, who's a senior at Decatur High School, Anique approached us about wanting to do a school supply closet at Decatur High School out of the Student Center.
Awesome.
She had already talked to Kim Evans in the Student Center and asked for a little spot for it. And so I was like, Anique, I love this idea. Totally want to do it. Will you be our first student innovation grant? She was like, yes. But her work on it was phenomenal. She had researched what school supplies the kids needed most. She had talked to teachers and surveyed them to understand how much they were spending out of their own pocket to get school supplies.
Wow.
And that's one of her metrics that she's going to measure, is to then look at the end of the year and see if she's able to reduce that so that the teachers are not spending as much of their own money on it. She had a 5-year budget and a 5-year plan for after she graduates that her sister and her Girl Scout troop are going to take it over and keep it going. So yes, no brainer. You got it.
I wonder, does she desire to go into business or nonprofit? I would definitely, as a senior, I think I need to go ask her.
Absolutely.
And find out what her post-secondary plans are.
Get her under contract.
Yes, get her under. I could think of a couple ways that we could utilize her skills at the district.
There were a few projects, obviously, like we looked at full funding and partial funding. We partnered with our PTAs to help jump in, and the ones that were partially funded to fill in the rest. CSD took quite a few over as well to fund those fully. So it was really a great partnership. But there were a couple that were so extraordinary that, like for Anik, I wrote to her and said, we're fully funding your project. If you need more, come talk to us. Because we'd love to. We want this to succeed. And so if you find that you need more supplies, we will put out the call and make sure that you have it. So that's been fun to see. And all kinds of great projects came out of that. Students at DHS creating SAT and ACT prep classes for their peers.
Wow.
Jewish Student Union, Asian Student Union working together to do a lot of great stuff. We have Best Buddies International launching a whole year of projects. Kids getting excited about physics demonstrations and needed some extra equipment. And like the graphic design crew just exploded with 3D printing, making Funko Pops, die cutters, laser cutters. So I'm so excited to see what happens from that. So what we can, again, investing in our students and then seeing what they can create is just phenomenal. So that's awesome. I have really enjoyed that. That's been fun.
I will say that's a great, strong start to the school year. So being all in, which is obviously our strategic plan, let's talk a little bit about this remainder of fall or potentially winter or spring. What are some of the other things we should expect from DEF?
Yeah, that's a great question. We've been launching things to coincide with the start of the school year. So that's why we wanted to hit strong with teacher innovation grants and student innovation grants. We also have a great partnership with Lighten the Load, which is our traditional program to give support to students for any of the barriers that they have to learning. So it's food insecurity, clothing, personal hygiene supplies, emergency assistance, and things like that. So we reimagined the program this year and have a super strong safety net built with the city schools of Decatur and Decatur Housing Authority staff. So we've worked with the social work team, the McKinney-Vento team, the student centers at Beacon Hill and Decatur High School, and then the student center at Decatur Housing Authority, so that we're all talking and understanding what families we're supporting and what needs they have. And so we've given grants already to city schools and for Decatur Housing Authority for the first semester. We're tracking all of the needs that we get and all of the requests that we get. So we'll get a sense of a snapshot of Decatur. What are our kids struggling with, and how can we support them in that? We're all going to come back together in January to kind of evaluate what first semester looked like, and then set up our grants for the second semester as well. So our hope is that by providing those supports to our students, we reduce their anxiety, we help them to feel a part of the Decatur community, we take away some of the things that may be a challenge for them in school, and that also gives our teachers and staff more of an opportunity to help them academically, because we're taking away some of the things that might be distracting them in class from being able to come to school or come to school prepared.
What would be the way? So say a family is listening, say a student is listening, or a parent, or maybe a parent that knows another parent that is saying, you know what, we need access to that Lighten the Load funds. How are they going to gain access to that funding and that support?
The best way is to talk to their school social workers.
Okay.
Or the counselors at the student center. That's the number one way. Again, so that we have people in place that can assess that situation,
Yes.
figure out the long-term support for that. So our hope is that we're able to not only provide for the immediate need,
Yes.
but also support the family all the way through so that we can get rid of that need altogether.
Awesome.
So that's our hope. So that Lighten the Load is a good one, and we always need funding for that. It's
Yes.
funded primarily from monthly donors who have signed up to give each month to Lighten the Load. And so that raises about $22,000 a year for Lighten the Load. I've budgeted at least 40 this year. So we've got a gap that we're going to be fundraising for. But particularly around the holidays, I think it's a great opportunity for people to give to support that and to know that while Decatur seems to be doing very well economically, there are also families that are struggling with insecurity around finances, and that this is a great way to give back. So that's a really good one. We've got a college counseling program that we also reimagined this year.
Oh, that's awesome.
Which is our partnership with College Ave Consulting and Katie So there. We've got 5 seniors in it right now who will go all the way from research of their colleges through their applications to enrollment, acceptance, all the way through. So it's a really fun opportunity for them. Most of them are first-generation college students.
Awesome.
And that they will get, we hope, a full ride so that Katie's helping them research where they can get a full scholarship for their 4 years so they come out of that with a college education and no debt. So that's our hope for the program. We'll be adding juniors in January, so we'll get another class.
I wish I had that opportunity when I was a senior. Goodness gracious, student loans are something significant.
Yes, and for our kids to understand the opportunities that they have, like what is available to them with somebody who's knowledgeable to tell them, like to help them research colleges and understand the variables that go into that.
Yes.
And figure that out. So I'm hoping for that one. We had 3 seniors go through last year. We restyled the program a little bit, and we've got 5 now.
That's
so
great.
I'm hoping that our cohort of juniors will be even more and that it continues to grow as we go through. And then obviously when we look at the spring, we've got Tour Decatur coming in March, which is our annual fun run. So I'm excited for that one. Post-COVID, it was hard to get everybody back in, but we've got great running clubs at the elementary school level.
Yes, we do.
I think that we're going to have a huge turnout this year, hopefully good weather.
Hopefully good weather.
And so that's going to be really fun. And then in May, we've got our Celebration of Excellence where we give out our scholarships to our seniors. And so that's always just a phenomenal night to celebrate all the seniors as they head off into their college experience. So I'm excited about that too. So it's going to be a busy and fun year.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. And we will continue to partner. I know when it comes to grant development, when it comes to donors, when it comes to what I like to say, just pounding that pavement to find those individuals who want to give to the City Schools of Decatur. And the best way to do that would be through the Decatur Education Foundation.
And I think that's been the biggest push so far as I've been telling people about our Step Up Circle, which is our individuals and our corporation donors that we were running right now. It's our campaign. But talking to them about this is a great thing to be a part of. Like you're part of an exciting, transformative experience in Decatur.
Yes.
So it's something that I haven't seen, again, in all my years of being a parent through City Schools of Decatur. The buzz and the excitement has been really fun to be a part of. We feel it every day when we talk about our programs. Every time we talk to a donor, they're excited about what's happening. And again, you can see in the teachers and the students that feeling of, I feel seen, I feel heard, I feel valued, my ideas are getting traction. And it's really elevating my school community and my students. I think we'll continue to see that role. So I'm super excited and glad that you're here to take the journey with me.
I'm excited to take the journey with you. I really am. So when I think about our future, I think about our students, number one, and the hope and the desire that they really are going to be very globally minded, very minded on social justice, and really understand how they are going to make a difference in the world. And we are shaping those minds, and we're shaping them together. Ricky, this has been such an exciting conversation. And when I think about our CSD journey together, this is going to be really great. You know what I'm waiting for?
What's that?
I am waiting to bring to the podcast all of the grantees.
Oh, absolutely.
Any of them that I know, as I check in with them, as you check in with them, I would love for them to be able to come on and share exactly how they are tracking and what they are seeing and what they are learning. And most importantly, how they are benefiting from the grant that they have been awarded. And that would be from a teacher and definitely from a student perspective as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be fantastic.
That would be. And also, obviously, I can't wait to have you on again.
Oh, thanks. I'd love to come back.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Go Bulldogs.
Go Bulldogs.